Hello, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Fellowship Varta. Today, we have got with us Miss Neeharika. She is an intern at Institute of Science and Technology in Vienna, Austria. Welcome, Neeharika.
Hello, thank you so much for this opportunity and hello everyone.
Hi. So, Neeharika, you have started your journey from Anna University and then
Yeah,
you went to IIT Chennai and Mumbai. So,
yeah,
how did you find these places? So, I'll request you to share something about your academic journey and also
sure, sure.
about the USP of these institutions where you have
Mm-hmm.
participated in India.
Of course. So, I started out, so initially I wanted to do research in neuroscience before I even started out with my bachelor's because like I was just inspired by seeing a lot of medical dramas. And, I found so many, for example, I saw a patient with Parkinson's. I was like, okay, so I really found the brain very interesting. And I saw myself probably doing something related to the brain down the lane. But I didn't really want to restrict myself by doing a BSc in neuroscience. That's just my personal opinion because I was like, I mean, just because I'm interested doesn't mean that I will stay interested. Again, there was also like, I also heard insights from a PhD uh, student who was an alumni of my school who gave a talk about her pursuing her PhD in neuroscience. And it just felt really interesting at that moment. But then, because I didn't really want to restrict myself, I decided to do a bachelor's in biomedical engineering because I felt that this would be like the engineering background would give me a lot of it is pretty vast. Like, I covered a lot of domains in my bachelor's, like right from core biology, mathematics, electronics. So I just felt like, like let's just take this up. And then if I'm still interested, or, if I become interested in other subdomains, I can very well pursue that. But so I took up a bachelor's in biomedical engineering. I would say that that was a really good.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I think the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi was a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a a good theoretical background on a lot of subjects, which made me, and because I was still interested in neuroscience and I couldn't do a lot of neuroscience research back in my home university, I decided to cold email professors. Um, Again, I didn't know that there were a lot of subdomains in neuroscience. Like there is computational, there is cognitive, there is pure molecular. Like I didn't have so much knowledge back then. I just wanted to do research in neuroscience, just like get to know more about the brain as such. So I cold emailed a professor in IIT Madras, and luckily he got back to me. The research was very computational. As much as I really liked the research that was going on there, I felt like just pure computation didn't really resonate with what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So I didn't see myself doing this long term. But again, the kind of research and the kind of the knowledge that I got from that was, of course, helpful. So I was like, okay, maybe, I shouldn't stick with it if I don't really want to pursue it. Because there are a lot of other subdomains as well. For example, um, I then decided to shift to cognitive neuroscience. That was my bachelor's thesis as well. So in cognitive neuroscience, you deal with like recording EEG from patients and then analyzing and stuff like that. So I did both my bachelor's thesis and my 6 month, 5 month long internship at IIT Bombay in cognitive neuroscience, and I had such a wonderful time. I was super interested in the project. It really, like what you say, it just felt like, this is something that I might definitely want to do. I had, like, for example, in IIT Bombay, I interacted with such a diverse set of people. There were people from psychology background. There were people from like who did like neurotechnology at bachelor's, which I think is super underrated. So like people can pursue that as well. I didn't know that before. Like it's available in universities like Jipmer. And I got to know, like, what do you say? For example, the girl who was in the neurotech background, she helped me understand how the EEG recording process, the data analysis, she helped me a lot with that. And then the girl from the psychology background, for example, when we were designing an experiment, she would provide like insights on why it is designed in a particular way. And it just felt like whatever I was doing, I was getting like a very wide and vast perspective of it. And it just, yeah, I really liked the research. But again, I wanted to stay in cognitive neuroscience, but I really wanted to also explore uh, animal research, probably a bit of wet lab as well, because I was like, I didn't want to directly pursue my master's before I was sure that this is what I want to do in my master's
Yeah.
thesis. Like
Yeah.
having a brief background, because like things are just so competitive right now. So I just wanted to ensure that I narrow it down a bit further, and which is why I approached I mean, I decided to apply for the internship program, and then I had a call with my professor, and we had like an interview, and then we talked about it, and he also offered me like a position where I can also extend my contract for a year. So I was like, it really felt more sensible to me at that point. And even now, I like, I don't regret any of my decisions
Yeah.
so far, even though it
I
took
think
me time to reach
mm,
where what I really want to do.
correct.
So right now I work with understanding cognition and behavior by doing animal experiments. And there is also like a lot of new techniques I've been learning, like for example, TEM. I've been learning embedding, flat embedding. There are like so many procedures as
Yeah.
well here. So I kind of see myself doing this long term now. So again, I think, I mean, a lot of people, they are lucky in the sense that they get to understand what they want to do long term pretty soon. But I guess I took a lot of time,
Now,
and I
I
felt
think
like,
the point I can take from your background, your journey, that
hmm,
if you have a passion, if you have an idea where
definitely,
you need to concentrate,
definitely,
degrees and institutions are not the barrier. And you could do basic course and then you could
yeah,
apply at multiple places where there is an excitement in same domain what
exactly,
you are looking at. In fact,
exactly, exactly.
India is a member. It reminds me that India is member of Human Frontier Science Program. Now, it
Hmm,
by its name, it looks a very biological program, which
yeah,
is more focused on human subject. But it's
hmm,
exactly not. They are basically looking for various sciences, be it mathematics or computation, be it physics, be it chemistry, be it mechanical engineering, be it robotics or artificial intelligence, any science, if it has
hmm.
some influence on the human subject, you are welcome to experiment it in Human Frontier Science Organization. So it's a very interesting program.
Okay.
I take this from a journey that excitement is something, and that is probably took you to the hospital also. I think you attended some hospital also.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, so before I started out with my bachelor's in biomedical engineering, I found this YouTube channel where it's called as Crazy Medusa, where she did her bachelor's in biomedical engineering as well, and she was just talking about her experience. And before I started out with experimenting in neuroscience, I just wanted to see what a typical biomedical engineer does in a hospital. So in that, she had recommended that she just went to a hospital and, saw how things worked, just like observation. And I did something similar. It was pretty short. It was for like 2 weeks, and it just like it was very interesting. But then I didn't see myself
Okay.
working in a hospital like setting. Like I just felt like I
Yeah.
wanted to do
Actually,
research. I don't know,
hospital are
because
more
it's
tuned to patient care, whereas
exactly, exactly.
whereas you as a curious person is more interested in research. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's very interesting. And tell me, how did you move to Austria? Like, how did you come to know about this internship? How did you prepare yourself? And
Mhm.
what are your suggestions for future aspirants who are looking for internship in Europe in general or in Austria in particular?
Of course, of course. So one thing that I did was during my third year, or like right from my third year, I started applying to a ton of programs. Like I think I applied to like almost 15 programs in the hope of getting into at least one, but I got rejected from everything. And so so I got to know about these programs by uh, like following people like you in LinkedIn. Like honestly, like there were so many programs that you made me aware about, and pretty sure made a lot of people aware about. And a lot of I looked into, I used to see what the people in neuroscience they did previously before landing into such a position, and I saw that they did some internships, and I tried applying to those fellowships as well. So yeah, there are a ton of programs which you can apply to. For example, there is, I think my tax is currently stopped. There is Amgen Scholars Program, there is Khurana Scholars Program, and then in India as well, you have so many programs like
Sure.
the Indian Academy of Sciences. You have the various IITs, summer research programs. So I would say try applying to these programs. If you don't get in as well, it is perfectly fine. You can cold email professors. Like I know so many people, other people as well, who cold email professors, and then they landed a job, a position either remotely or so I think cold positions. Of course, fellowships are definitely more prestigious, but if you really want to do research, like if you still want to go and try research, I think you can cold email, and a lot of professors, if they see the interest in you, they do accept your profiles. And for that, your GPA is really important. Like I know that people tell that GPA is not so important, like you have to focus on other stuff, but as much as you have to focus on other stuff, you need a solid GPA to show that I am a good student, like I can perform if you give me this opportunity. So
Yes.
GPA acts like a guarantee.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would like to add here
yeah,
that, of course, there are ample number of opportunities available to Indian researchers to go anywhere in the world. And as
yeah.
Niharika mentioned, I am also trying my best to put some of them. But
Mm-hmm.
there are so many other challenges. Two things I would suggest future aspirants to take care. One is you should not make a generalized application which you are just putting cut and paste mode, sending into 20 fellows. That won't work. You need to study the lab where you are planning to go and reorient your application to meet their expectations. Because unless it meets their expectation, you won't go to. So if you have just written one application and you're sending it to n number of fellow, it doesn't make sense. So the moment you make them interested in you, it works.
Exactly.
So that is
Exactly.
something very important. And please remember, so this is my suggestion to future aspirants also, that make yourself, or if I could use a market word, so market yourself. Why do you, how you can augment others' laboratories while you are learning. So please,
Exactly. Yeah, so I again I would like to highlight on what you said, because again I see a lot of cold email templates that I see online, and that has never worked out for me. Because I mean, if you look at from the professor's point of view, how many such templates are they going to get on an everyday basis, right? Like they're just bored of it. They would probably not even like look into your profile, even though it might be really good for their lab. You have to show your interest. You have to like communicate yourself better, like make yourself stand out. For example, when I approached one of the professors, like the current professor I'm working with, I told him that I have zero experience in animal handling or like wet lab, but I think my background in biomedical engineering has given me some form of aptitude where I can be more flexible in learning stuff. And again, my experience in cognitive neuroscience and my just my liking to pursue neuroscience down the lane makes me really want to join your lab. And that really made him respond to me.
yeah,
I believe. Yeah, so I think you should,
Niharika,
whenever
I would
you're
just like to quote
emailing,
here one more example. Many
yeah,
of our youngsters must be having a Gmail account, and you
yeah,
see how many of the Gmail you really don't open. Same is the situation with the professor, what Niharika just mentioned, that they are tired of seeing such requests. So we need to communicate in a proper way, showing interest in their work and making them feel how we could be useful to them.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Niharika,
so,
uh,
mhm,
we are probably on the close of this meeting. So I would like to ask
definitely.
you one general point.
Uh-huh.
Apart from preparing your application scientifically, what are the
Okay.
do's and don'ts you would like to recommend to Indian students looking for internship or research journey in Europe? So what they should do, how they should get their visa application done, how they should conduct themselves while they are living in that country, what are the
Oh,
cultural
okay.
differences and how it helps
Hmm.
to be in the right shoes.
Of course, of course. So I think Vienna, you have very less Indian population compared to other countries. I would say that cultural difference wise, yeah, of course, like Europeans, they have a different culture, but people are nice. Like I don't stereotypically like I feel like you shouldn't go and believe the stereotypes that just follow around. For example, I was told that Austrians might not be so nice, but then they are super helpful. Like you go, even if they don't know the language, they try helping you out. So don't believe in stereotypes. Just be nice and they respond with the same energy that you give most of the times. And with respect to the visa processes and stuff, if you get selected for a fellowship, the program just helps you with that. And at ISTA, it's not just the internship fellowship, there is also a year-long scientific internship which is available. So I would be like once I'm done with this internship fellowship, I would be continuing for a year as a scientific intern. And for those scientific interns, you still have like support from the international office here in terms of visa, health insurance, and just they ensure that your onboarding is smooth. So I think visa wise or just in terms of that, I think you can be sorted if you get into such programs. I think that is the same for even programs like My Tax and DAD,
Yeah.
which used to be there. So I don't think so. You should think a lot about that. But in terms of getting into the fellowship or getting into a program, like even say for PhDs, I would say don't just cold mail with a random template. I think that is not going to be helpful. uh, Make it as personalized, like for example, keep the email short. Like I understand that the professor might not want to read a big email, but then attach your resume and also write like a statement of research interest document where you communicate your journey better, so they will even see that okay, so this person has taken the effort to personalize the email for me. And yeah,
See,
that
very
is
often
really
these
important.
days, people are using digital tool and artificial intelligence chatbot
Yeah,
are
yeah,
there. So you can take help of them, but still do the final touch yourself because
exactly.
people will know if you have prepared this application through a chatbot. So
Yeah,
unless you
yeah,
put your personal words, it's not going to make difference. Please take care of that thing. One thing, Niharika, do
of
you
course.
miss your Indian food?
Of course, yeah. I try making Indian food here, but then I really do miss Indian food. It's because like food here is a bit expensive. I try not eating outside, but I have still had Indian food over the past 1.5 months I've been here. So yeah, that is
Okay, the last
right.
question, if you we could
Yeah,
have on this conversation, where would you
sure.
like to see Niharika 5 years from now?
5 years from now, okay, possibly in a good, fully funded PhD position, continuing my research in neuroscience. Uh, I would probably prefer to do my master's before my PhD because, like, I still want a better. I want to do my master's thesis, and then I want to hopefully join the same lab for my master's thesis because I just feel that I need to understand the lab dynamics before I go for my PhD. But I think hopefully continuing my research in neuroscience and hopefully also helping a lot of other people. And I am open to guiding people as well, which is something that I see myself doing down the lane. So yeah,
And good
that's
wishes for that journey. And I can tell you only
thank
one
you
thing
so
that
much.
neurosciences and cognitive sciences are very important, and there are
Exactly.
dedicated program in India on those sciences.
Yeah.
Integration of biomedical engineering in
Mm-hmm.
this research is an exciting area, and very
Yeah.
recently ANRF has made a call for convergence call, where they are
Mm-hmm.
trying to merge two very different sciences
Mm-hmm.
to
Okay.
deliver a good product. So there are a
Okay.
lot of good programs. So you do your PhD, your master's from anywhere in the world and come back to India. And I'm sure
Of
by the
course.
time you complete this, these remain one of the challenging areas. So our good
Of course.
wishes.
Of course.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you so
viewers,
much.
for this discussions.